And if you're looking to go to all those events, it's going to be a busy weekend for you. But there might be some rain on the way that will impact your travel plans. So I'm going to hand things over to Chief Meteorologist Howard Manges.
Yeah, we're seeing some rain out there across the region right now, but the steadiest widespread rain moves in overnight tonight and could impact your plans on Saturday. Let's get into what's going on right now across the country. More severe weather in Texas, a lot of widespread rain under a developing low pressure system, essentially in the Ohio Valley that's going to move north and west of us. You see all the precipitation from essentially down along the Appalachian Mountains into the deep south. Here in the northeast, yeah, it's warm and it's quite wet. We see some rain moving through central Pennsylvania. It's moving off to the north and to the east. Thunderstorms earlier faded away north. There's a look at the latest surface map showing a small area of low pressure right near us and a couple of fronts, a stationary front and a cold front, weak cold front back to the west. But it's going to be this main low that's sitting in the lower Great Lakes that it really drives the show here over the next 24 hours. Look, right now there's some light rain possibly moving through Delaware County. I just looked at some of the lower atmospheric relative humidity values, and there is a pocket of very dry air from the surface up to around 6,000 or 7,000 feet. So some of this might not even be reaching the ground. It may be evaporating as it falls into that. Cloud deck is very high above that 6,000 to 7,000 feet point, and then, you know, the precipitation falls into that dry air and it evaporates. So I'd be real surprised if it's, you know, I think it's probably raining down in Towanda, where you see those heavier reflectivities over between Oneonta and Walton. Maybe some light rain there as well, but really kind of a wild card there as to exactly when that precipitation will be able to make its way down to the ground. We're in the 60s and 70s still at this hour. Looking ahead to some weather headlines, rain overspreads the area overnight tonight. Will be steady to heavy at times. I think anywhere from a half to an inch of rain for most areas. There could be up to maybe an inch and a quarter in any areas that might see convective elements or thunderstorms. Thunderstorm chances again for tomorrow early to mid-afternoon, and then looking at a gusty day to end the weekend. Here's a look at those wind gusts expected to creep up. This is a look at Delhi. You'll notice by the time we get into Sunday, we're looking at some gusts maybe upwards of 30 to 35 miles an hour at times. So a blustery day on the way there. Future track here tonight shows the showers moving through initially, but then overspreading the area, becoming more widespread. Some heavier downpours. Can't rule out a thunderstorm during the overnight. 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, still some steady rain, mainly east of I-81. And then late morning into the early afternoon, maybe some breaks in the clouds, but still that chance of a few showers. And then afternoon, as the actual front comes in, we might see a flare-up of maybe some thunderstorms east and southeast of Binghamton into the late afternoon time frame. So something to keep an eye on. How much rain? As I mentioned, there's a look at this one model showing, you know, upwards of 3/4 of an inch in many locations. So amount of rain that falls tonight is not going to be enough to cause any problems, but it will certainly make for a wet start to your Saturday. Next 7 days, we're a little cooler on Sunday, mid-50s, 67 on Monday. By the time we get to Tuesday, we'll be watching carefully. I think we're in the mid-70s, another warm day, but a cold front comes in later, and that could bring some thunderstorms that might have a little bit of feistiness to them. We'll have to watch that. But then we're in the 60s again for Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday of next week.
You know, as long as it stays above 50,
I know.
I can't complain. I won't complain.
Yeah.
I feel like above 50 is kind of where it should stay.
I agree with you, and I conveniently left out the fact that Saturday night into Sunday morning, higher elevations might see a little bit of, you know, some of that snow mixing in.
No.
Was I wrong? Was I right in leaving it out of the
absolutely.
Okay,
well, until now, because now it's definitely going to happen.
Well, let's rewind about 30 seconds and pretend it never happened.
All right. Well, be sure.